Don't let him shoot, Mike.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Nightwing2303 from kicksoncourt.com. Today we have another performance review and it is on the Jordan CP3.6 AE, which are available now. This is Chris Paul's 6th signature sneaker with Jordan brand. It is also his playoff rendition. The AE supposedly stands for Artisan's Edition, which has absolutely nothing to do with performance. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. I said it before and I'll say it again, the traction is simply the best that you can probably get. Does that mean that it is the best traction ever? That doesn't mean that. There's plenty of sneakers, including the Kobe 8, the Jordan 28, and so on, that have really great traction. So for this shoe, when I say that it has the best traction, it just means that it is at that elite level. This is definitely one of those shoes that you should consider if you want the best of the best when it comes to traction. On top of that, this shoe is able to play on a wide variety of court conditions, so whether you're on a clean floor or a really dusty floor, this stuff really bites to the floor and it works out perfectly. You're really not going to get anything as aggressive or prominent as this unless you go with the Air Jordan 28, and if you do that, you're going to be spending about $250 versus about $130 with these guys. So the cushion system remains the same. It is Podulon. Basically all it is 4-foot cushion in this particular model, whereas the CP3.5 had heel and forefoot. If you don't know what Podulon is, basically this section here is a different density foam than the rest of the unit. This is all a lightweight Phylon carrier, and then you have your Cushlon foam in the middle. Cushlon is basically a rubberized version of Phylon, so it's just got a little bit more bounce to it. It'll last a little bit longer. It doesn't compress as easily, so it's a little bit less responsive, but at the same time, like I was saying, it lasts a little bit longer. Which one you prefer really depends on which shoe you'll pick if you're going to be comparing something like this to the Kobe 8. The Kobe 8 has Lunar Lawn, which is very soft, somewhat responsive in the beginning, and then it starts to bottom out and dwindle its life down towards the end of your playing time in them. Like I said, this guy here will last just a little bit longer than that, so if that's something you're looking forward to, maybe this will be a good option for you. The materials between the CP3.6 and the AE edition are completely different. This model has a one-piece fuse upper, which is great for durability and not so great for flexibility, even though this is a fairly flexible type of fuse, being that it's thin. Now this one here brings in a little bit of a more premium feel or atmosphere to it by using some premium synthetics, including, depending on the colorway, but including a nubuck, which is what these guys have here. Now this will show damage versus this one here, which will show less damage and it's easier to clean. However, these just look really nice, they feel really nice, plus having the addition of the overlay panels and then this mesh piece here, it really allows the shoe to flex wonderfully, whereas this guy right here still flexes fine, but you're going to have some pieces here that don't want to move because of the fuse. It's plastic. So plastic versus a mesh. Basically, the mesh is just going to feel a little bit better on your foot. Which one is better is really a personal preference. Do you want something that's going to last a little bit longer, or do you want something that's going to feel a little bit better right from the get-go, straight out the box? One additional feature with the materials themselves is that they're placed in panels. So as you can see, you have the side panel on both the medial and lateral side. Now these panels are somewhat segregated. They're only connected to the bottom layer by a thin layer of mesh, so that really allows your foot to kind of move naturally, especially being in a low top sneaker. It really enhances that free range of motion feel. So in my personal opinion, I do feel that this is one of the better low top sneakers if you want freedom and range of motion to be able to do what you're supposed to do naturally without any restriction whatsoever. The overall fit is true to size. These things fit great. The one thing that they definitely changed and improved upon is the heel lockdown. The original model had this little pillow here, and this kind of pushed my heel up just a little bit. It didn't quite hug my Achilles the way that it might have been intended to. Again, I said this in one of the previous videos, or actually it wasn't in a video, it was in one of my, it was in the performance teaser write-up that I have on my site, kicksoncourt.com, in case you did not know. But basically, some people, this thing felt great, they fit perfectly fine, and then other people like myself had some heel slippage issue with zero lockdown. Basically, I felt like my foot was going to come out of the back of the shoe with every kind of like push off and step that I took. This guy here didn't have that problem. They took out that heel pillow and they even really contoured the back of the heel sculpt right there, so my heel really rests inside of this area, and the pillow that is created by the cushion or the padding is cupping my Achilles, which is the way that it's supposed to be. And then with the rest of it, I just kind of tie it tightly like this, and I'm ready to go. Ventilation, in my opinion, was only increased slightly. It's nothing crazy. It's almost comparable, in my opinion. So basically, I only increased their overall score by ½ a point, just because it's not something that I was able to notice specifically, or that was drastically different. Especially going from this shoe to a different shoe that features a little bit more ventilation, you could definitely tell that, you know, these guys here don't offer enough airflow that some people might like. By some people, I mean that you just got to know what your preferences are. If you don't care about ventilation, then basically skip this section altogether. But if you do care about ventilation, especially outdoor players, this is something that you might want to consider. The overall support between the AE and the regular version is exactly the same. The main difference is that these guys have much better heel lockdown, so you're going to get a better overall support from the upper and fit in general, whereas the arch of the shoe is pretty much the same, so you're getting the same arch support and torsional support, which is perfectly fine. Had no complaints with them originally and don't have any complaints with it now. Just to recap, I give traction a 10 out of 10. Solid traction, works on almost every single floor that I played on, and I personally love it. Overall cushion hasn't changed much, so that's still going to be a 7, just like the original score. The materials increased slightly, so that became a 9.5 versus the original 9. The fit definitely improved, especially in the heel. It's going to fit a lot wider variety of foot shapes and sizes. So with that being said, I give the overall fit a score of 9.5 versus the original score, which was a 6.5. Ventilation hasn't changed much. It's just a very minor change. Still an increase, but not by much, so it's only going to be a ½ a point. It's going to be moved from a 7.5 originally to now an 8. Again, with the increased support from the upper and the resculpted heel and lockdown, you're definitely increasing your overall support and stability in the shoe itself. So like I was saying, the bottom of the support is perfectly fine. It's the upper that really got tweaked and enhanced. So the original score was 7 for support, and now it's going to be a 9. With the score all tallied up, that came out to 8.83, and I'm just going to round that up a bit to give it a solid 9 out of 10. So that's the placement that you'll see on the top 10 of 2013 list on my site. It'll be a solid score of 9 out of 10, which means that it's right up there with all of the first, I think, top 3 or 4 sneakers. They all have about the same score. So this is definitely something to consider. It's a low budget option, coming in less than any of the other sneakers that are within the top 3 spots, in my personal opinion. And if you're a guard, this definitely is something to consider, and you can play with this indoor or outdoor, versus the Kobe 8, where if you use those outdoors, that rubber is just going to disappear faster than you can say booyakasha. Alright guys, so that takes care of the performance review on the Jordan CP3.6 AE. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. If you are interested in this shoe, you can buy them now at select Jordan brand retailers, including East Bay, Foot Locker, and Finish Line. If you want to find a pair that ships internationally, you can go to pickyourshoes.com, and if you want to find a pair that is similar to this but maybe not exactly like it and at a very discounted rate, then check out the original CP3.6, which are going to be hitting discount centers, outlets, and sale prices right now. So thank you guys again. Stay tuned to my site, kicksoncourt.com, for all of your performance needs, and until next time guys, have a good one.